And now, Matt, you've got some more virtual world type of security issues. These are the types of things we probably look at on a more regular basis. So there's something with Microsoft Azure that has been used for malicious purposes?
Yep, it's that same old story of a popular service being abused for malicious purposes. Microsoft Azure is offering a free trial of their cloud hosting service, which most people would absolutely love. Gets your feet wet with cloud. But phishers are using it for the exact same purpose. You can get a free 30-day trial, and unfortunately, some people are using certain subdomains of the Azure site. I believe it's AzureWebsites.net and CloudApp.net are the two that Netcraft, which is a website for watching like net analytics, has noticed are being heavily abused for phishing pages. The advantages of abusing Azure in this way are that you get a free SSL certificate. And we know most users have been trained, and for a while this was correct, that if you see the lock, you're secure. But these are all under the Azure domain itself. That's what the SSL cert is for.
Right.
So they're seeing a lock, but it's not necessarily for the site that they intend to be on. So if you can fool a user in the URL bar by just showing them the lock, if you're a phisher, you're golden.
Right.
It seems that the SSL cert for that domain as well is not revocable, which it kind of goes against the idea of properly issuing certs. You should issue a cert in a way that it's quickly revocable, so that if anything does happen, you can automatically prevent any abuse of that certificate.
Right, and then people's browsers would start warning that this certificate's been revoked or whatever, right? But
exactly. So
for some reason, it's not in this case for the okay.
And who knows why? Also, free email addresses, which I'm sure that phishers would love to be able to use. The one thing about it that is probably going to slow down attackers is that it requires you to register with a credit card and a phone number. Now, we know credit cards in the underground are easy to come by.
Right.
Phone numbers are a little bit more difficult. So this probably wouldn't be, like a low-level attacker. This would be someone who already has some resources, the ability to come up with a phone number and a credit card they can burn on this. Somewhere in the middle, somewhat organized.
Interesting. All right. So yeah, you need to have a physical phone that they're going to call and be able to receive that.
Although you might be able to do something with VoIP. Yeah, you were just thinking the same thing, weren't you?
Yeah, there might be some rogue methods there. So yeah, I guess so what they're doing is they're registering so they can, the parent domain, AzureWebsites.net, has the SSL certificate, and they're registering like rogue stuff like, my legitimate company.azurewebsites.net or whatever.
Like
I see. Yeah, and it looks legitimate, right?
So as long as you can fool someone with
So do these websites get hosted in the Microsoft space?
Yeah, they get hosted in the Azure cloud itself. Now, some of the sites are on the Azure Websites platform, which is sort of like a build your own website very quickly. There's the cloud app space, where if you're dropping in cloud instances. And it seems that the Azure Websites portion is being abused more heavily, because all you have to do is create a site. You don't have to create a whole cloud instance just to get your stuff there. So, obviously Microsoft is aware of the problem at this point, but, it's interesting to see that the same old cycle of free services being abused is still alive today.